So the Supreme Court of the U.S., they declined to hear the appeal of this famous couple, the McCloskys. It was a couple that pointed guns at protesters. They were Black Lives Matter protesters. And so this is by Christopher Wilson, who's a senior writer. And it says the U.S. Supreme Court on Monday rejected a petition from Mark and Patricia McCloskey. The couple, they pointed guns at Black Lives Matter protesters outside their St. Louis, Missouri home. So the court declined to hear the McCloskys' appeal as they attempted to end a probationary period tied to a suspension of their law licenses instituted by Missouri Supreme Court in February. So the McCloskys, who are white couple, were photographed pointing guns, an AR-15 rifle or AR-15 style rifle, and Patricia had a pistol at racial justice protesters who were marching past their palatial suburban home in late June of 2020. And so now we're talking about all this stuff about gun violence, and here you got a couple who felt the need to basically broadcast the weaponry and arsenal that they possess. Wield guns and AR-15s at protesters. So while the state's chief disciplinary council had pushed for a suspension of their license, the Supreme Court of the U.S. instead instituted a 1-year probation. Okay, so meaning that they're allowed to practice law, but are required to provide 100 hours of pro bono legal service and report any other criminal charges or job changes. So they must complete the probationary period, avoid having their law licenses suspended. So the pair pleaded guilty to the misdemeanor, and that's all they received, of misdemeanor assault and harassment charges. And they turned the guns in. This was June of 2021. So after their defense attorney successfully pushed to remove a prosecutor seeking felonies for unlawful use of weapons and evidence tampering, shortly thereafter they purchased new AR-15 stylized guns and were pardoned by a Missouri governor, Mike Parson, who is a Republican. And so this is the McCloskys right here. They're near a courthouse during Kyle Rittenhouse's trial in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And so you see them here, and they basically were applauding Kyle Rittenhouse, I'm sure. So as many of you know, that Patty and I had faced political prosecution. This is the McCloskys talking, I believe, for having the audacity to defend ourselves, our lives, and this is the way they look at it, and a property from an angry mob, Mark McCloskey wrote in August 2021 statement. So today we are incredibly thankful that the governor, Mike Parson, righted out the wrong and granted us pardons. And so this was them right here. And basically, it goes on to say that former President Donald Trump, who had supported the McCloskys after the initial incident, praised the move, saying that they were defending their property, and if they had not done what they did, their property would have been completely destroyed, and they would have been badly beaten or dead. Great going, Mike. And so this is coming from the former President Donald Trump back then. So in the petition, the Supreme Court, the McCloskys argued that their Second Amendment rights were being violated, noted that the pardon, the fact that their actions had been praised by President Donald Trump, former President Donald Trump, so the couple were denied the cert, meaning that there are fewer than four justices wanted to hear the case. So despite a 6-3 conservative majority on the court, which includes 3 justices appointed by Trump, of course, McCloskys have attempted to use the viral photos to rise in the ranks of the Republican politics. So they appeared at a virtual Trump campaign event and then spoke in 2020 Republican National Convention, falsely claiming that Joe Biden wanted to abolish the suburbs. So this was coming from a Mark McCloskys who launched a bid for the Senate seat, of course, being left open by a retiring GOP Senator Roy Blunt, but has been polling a distant fourth. So Mark McCloskys had attempted to take a pro bono position advising the right-wing media group Project Veritas to fulfill the 100-hour requirement of the probation, but the state Supreme Court denied the request, saying it was not an approved legal assistance program. And so basically that is the whole article right there. So do you see the boldness of this couple here? They're not sorry for their actions. They don't feel like they should have their guns taken away. As a matter of fact, they actually bought new AR-15. Now, what are we talking about? What happened just recently? Horrible shootings, killings, massacres, people going out, and in particular, what happened in Buffalo, New York. And isn't this not something that's a young person that if they're influenced by this wouldn't see and think, they did it, so I'm going to do it. Copycats. All the people that are out there that are unhinged and have mental issues, or they're sucked in by the social media, the rhetoric that they hear from these particular specific groups that target people of color, people who are disadvantaged, or people who are poor, or people who are not in line with their political values. And so this is just basically validating what we are seeing happening in real time. And now you have the accountability that is the issue. The people who are in power, the SCOTUS, the Supreme Court Justice, is now holding somewhat accountability, but is it strong enough? Is it enough? I'm not sure, because they're only getting probation, and it's not a felony, it's a misdemeanor, and they purchase weapons again, and they're allowed to still be carrying firearms, even though they've basically presented themselves to be these heroes who are protecting their home and their suburb. They're basically saying to you that you're not wanted in these communities. You people, you're just walking past our homes is a violation, because we are privileged and we run these communities and we run you, and we're the ones that can wield guns and get away with murder, and we can say what we want and do what we want. And even if we're held to some degree accountable for our actions, we're not going to hold ourselves 100% accountable. What we're going to say is, yeah, we did it, but we did it for these reasons, these political reasons, our political values that we have. And so we feel like our amendments are being attacked. The way they said it blatantly, our amendments, their amendments, rights. And so when you hear that type of talk, what does that say to you? And then you have people saying the McCloskys argued that their Second Amendment rights were being violated. Think about that. That's what they were saying. Their privileges were being violated.